All right, we are live here. So, yeah, last time we did a bunch of stuff. Well, oh yeah, we were working on notifications. And yeah, try to implement the the UI around like quest and dialogue and menus a little bit more. And right now I'm actually in the process of making this a UI struct, which basically is just a placeholder not placeholder, but a place to hold a bunch of functions that makes it easier to sort of draw things in the game. So number one, what I've done is I have replaced or removed the camera struct that we had in the game engine and replaced it with the Raylib camera, because Raylib has its own camera. So I thought, yeah, if we're using Raylib, and it's unnecessary to have our own camera, and with that camera you can do a bunch of more things. You can zoom and you can rotate or whatever you want to do with that camera, and you can also sort of set the origin of the screen coordinates and the and move it around and stuff like that. So I thought it would be good to just rip off the band-aid there and replace a bunch of stuff. So I built this UI to make this a little bit easier to handle in the future. So this one, the main thing that we're doing is we're basically, before we had also this scale constant, so we basically scaled up everything by 4 to make it like larger on the screen, so it wouldn't be like this very small pixels and you wouldn't see much. So we're zooming it in by a factor of 4, but that also meant that basically we're scaling all positions and all sizes of everything by 4, and that seems a bit unnecessary if the only thing that we need to do is scale the actual image by 4 in the end. So that's what I did. So I removed all the scaling parts from all positions and sizes of everything, and then I made a new like zoom constant, which just zooms in the camera by 4, and it seems to work fine. But the issue then was the UI, because the UI, if you're gonna paint something, let's say at the top left of the screen in the UI, then the camera is like zoomed in, so you won't actually get, that's gonna be rendered like outside of the screen. And so and also, let's say you revert the camera and then paint on the screen, and then it would be on the screen, but it wouldn't be like zoomed in on the UI. So the UI would still be like small pixels, while everything else is 4 times larger. So what I did was, I thought that, okay, so when you want to do some UI, we have to do some special stuff. So what we actually do basically is we assume that you're drawing on the normal screen. I don't know if this is a good idea, but this is how I did. This is how it is for now. But I'm drawing it as if we weren't zoomed in. So, for example, the 3 hearts is at the top left of the screen. You have the new area notification is at the bottom center of the screen. But then what you do is you divide both the position and the size of everything by 4, by the zoom value, and then it magically ends up in the correct position. So yeah, but I'm still in the process of actually changing that. Hello. I'm not sure how to say name. Carwin Codes. Oh, Carwin Codes. Yeah. I was thinking of cars, but that like cars in New York codes or something. But sorry, my brain went some weird place there. Okay. Hello, welcome. How's it going? Yeah, nice. Great. Are you interested in Zig? And maybe game development as well. Let's see. So I need to fix a couple of places. I'm just gonna double check how this is looking now. So we got the quest log needs a little bit of work. Also, we got some artifacts with the actual. I've updated the font. However, as you can see, there are some artifacts. Never mind the gray line in the middle, because that's like a rectangle that we're drawing. But you can see it's some pixels that's sort of artifacting, and I guess that's because the font is, yeah, it's not like padded with stuff with pixels, so you see sort of the small pixels from the next letter in the alphabet there. Okay, cool. Well, hope you enjoy. Are you a developer otherwise? Or, I mean, your name is Codes, so yeah. And here you can see I've also, yeah, so I've updated the font, but we got some artifacts. But it looks a little bit nicer now. I'm using a font that supposedly is free to use, so and it looks a little bit more like 8-bit as well. Are you rendering the font as a spreadsheet or from a font file? So I'm loading in a font from a TTF file, and then Raylib sort of reads that, and I guess Raylib takes all the letters that we want to have and puts that in a sort of tile map or something, and then so you have some sort of map to that tile set or tile tile set, yes, and when it renders, I guess it just chooses from that tile from that sort of image the correct, and that's why I think we got these artifacts, because yeah, that's what happens also if you have a tile set and you try to, and you don't have padding, it renders the next tile a little bit in between there. But I'm a developer, but by day, but not system stuff, just web stuff. Okay, yeah, it's the same for me actually. Are you full stack or? Yeah, Raylib. Changing the font was a bit of a pain, yeah. So I'm not really sure how to fix that unless, I mean, one way would be to manually do the same things, but that doesn't seem nice. There should be like a way to fix that otherwise. But I'm gonna go and fix the health UI now. So here we're using our draw system, but but I think what we want to do is we want to draw using our UI struct. So I'll make a new function which will be draw like this, and this is the texture. Mostly backend, trying to improve front-end abilities, but it's been a while since I could build the UI as well. Okay. Alright. What kind of backend? Is it C# or Java or Node.js or Python maybe? Source. Oh yeah, source. I think that's maybe and then let's just copy all this, I guess. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Alright, we need a draw system though, I think, so let's just add that as well. Python, Django, work with all sorts. 11 years, so okay. Right about my time as well. I think I started in 2015, 2016 maybe. Yeah. But I always wanted to get into web dev, or not web dev, game development. Fonts in your Vim is super clean and crisp. Yeah, it's nice. I don't remember which font I'm using. Font. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be. I'm not sure, but it might be the Google one, Google Source Pro or something. Not sure though. This is this. So I'm running. Okay, so I'm running WSL, and I'm running a thing called WEZterm with WEZterm, WEZ term, it's called, from Windows, and then it like connects to, well, each sort of tab can connect to different sources. So you can have like one in PowerShell in Windows or WSL. Okay, this would be just, this thing here. This is the origin, position, rotation, scale, and horizontal flip. Okay. And what we'll do is we will do the same thing here. So we'll have a position. So this one will be position over zoom. And also wait. Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, I guess the scale, yeah, we'll see. So that's the new position there. Okay. So let's use UI there instead. Okay. We'll just dereference it there. I use Western when I'm in Windows, but Ghost TY or Ghosty maybe you say at the moment when I'm okay. Yeah, Western, it works very nice. I mean, I just very quickly looked at like recommended stuff on Windows to get something working with WSL and stuff. So yeah, it's been working really nice, and you can configure it, and yeah, it's working really well. Okay, so now let's see if we can run this. Nope. Oh, right. There we go. And there's no real reason why it should be a pointer really, but because we're not modifying it. Oh, the camera doesn't work. And there you can see the hearts at the top left, except they are a little bit strangely positioned now. Also, are the pixels larger? No, doesn't seem like that. So that's the issue now, like how they are positioned. The sizes of them. So the scale here is the same scale we're passing in, so that should just be 1 in the end. But then we have this stepping function for each heart, and so the issue there, so the size, so the size is in just the normal pixels. Okay, and then we do that. So why? So then we divide by the zoom, or should we? Oh wait, no. So the position is divided, so they get like scrunched together. Okay, maybe this isn't the thing that will solve everything. Yeah, because we're not really scaling it. It would work if you would scale it as well. Right. So I think the scale would be like divided by the zoom. then we would see the hearts correctly position-wise, I think, but we will not see them correctly size-wise. Or, yeah, I mean, they're kind of like zoomed out. So... Oh, wait, and then I have to, because I have to think about, yeah, because it's then gonna be zoomed in anyway. So I think here's the issue. We have this texture size. I just need to think this through here. Yes, I mean, I think that would make it... I think that would... This would make it very large. Like 4 times what it should be. Yeah. I think the issue is that we want to divide the size of the texture and not like the scale. But the position needs to be correct as well. Okay, I need to think about this because the okay, if I draw this on in a diagram sort of here. Just need something square. Okay, so we have the screen. Here's the screen. And our camera is sort of zoomed in, so we only see the pixels, I guess you could say, that's zoomed in like this. This is the camera. Camera. There. Okay, we're zoomed in 4 times. And when we draw the UI, we kind of draw it, we kind of start at, okay, I need to increase this a little bit here. Where's the thing? Let's just make it. Okay, so we're kind of drawing the UI. Let's do it in a red here. The UI is drawn something like this. Up here. Because in screen coordinates, this is 0, 0, right? We're actually drawing things at 0, 0. We want them to be in the center of the screen. So we have this sort of center of the screen is a 0, 0, and then top left is like half the size of the screen. This is not to scale. This should be like the whole window. And then what we do, in order to get it to screen coordinates, we take this and we offset it by half the screen. So then it goes to the center. So then then you have the correct like sort of coordinates there. But what we're doing as well, actually, let's just draw this to scale here. So we'll take this entire thing and we will put this up here. There. Wait. Let's do this instead. Oops. I will move it there. Right. So this is now. This is where we draw stuff in these coordinates. So this one is like negative screen let's say it's like negative, because it's 9, let's say 1900 sort of. Let's say it's like negative, wait, 950 pixels or something like this, and negative, why did that become so? And then negative, I don't know, 600 or something. I don't know what it actually is, but it's up there. That's this point right here. Okay, this point is 0, 0. And I'm doing this for myself as well. So what we're doing is we're drawing things based on this coordinates. Milton, okay, I haven't heard of that. I'll check it out sometime. But let's see. So and then, you know, you can offset it by the screen, half the screen size, so it gets the center gets over here instead. So, and that's basically, you just move that over there. That's just offsetting. So now you get the correct screen coordinates. However, we're zoomed in as well. So all of these things are gonna be scrunched in together. But I don't think we need to worry about this offsetting screen step. I just wanted to put it there. But let's say we are in the center here, and or in the correct coordinates here. And what we're doing then is we're dividing each position. So let's say we have 3 hearts over here. We're dividing each position, but the position is, I think the position should be like only one of these, not all 3. I think. What we really want to do is we want to scale this down. And then we move this down here, right? I think what we are doing is we're taking each individually. Oops. We're scaling it down. Then shrinking that. Okay, I don't know. I can't really show it very well here, but I think what we want to do is we also want to do stuff with this size here, because this size determines a bunch of stuff. So actually the position here is like in the middle of the thing, but that shouldn't. And then we scale. Yeah, the destination is like. Perhaps we should just copy this thing instead. And do our own version here. Because I think this might be dual. I'm not sure actually, but yeah, the position is that. We will do this divided by the zoom. Okay, let's see where that ends. And I'm just gonna do that. Wait. then this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's see where this lands us. Okay, so we're back to square one there. So let's go through this. So here we have 3 hearts. They are 8 by 8 in size, so that's the pixel size, right? And then we have an offset, and this doesn't matter really because it's just like the starting point, and that seems to be all right. But then we have a stepping function here, which is like the size times this. Yeah, so it's times this one basically makes a vector, which is the x component is I, and the y component is 0. So it goes to the right, basically, is what it's saying. It goes to the right by the size of that. So it goes 8 pixels for each eye. And then it's scaled by this scale, but this scale is actually 1, so it doesn't matter. So it goes 8, so offset plus 0, and then the next eye is 8, and the next eye is 16. Okay, so when we divide that, so this stepping thing should be like, I mean, it should probably be like scaled by config.zoom, but that feels it feels weird. It feels bad because I want to transform this coordinate system into the target coordinate system, and I want to have to do some shenanigans with the zoom constant here in order to get the correct thing. And that's the whole issue here. I'm just trying to work out the maths here to see if we can get it working. So the positions would be offset, and then offset plus 8, and then offset plus 16, which is, I guess, correct. Wait, do we even need to? And then we divide by that to get it to the. It makes sense to scale it, but something is already scaled by the zoom. Yeah, I think if we're just gonna test this, if scale the stepping function here by 4, I think it will line up correctly. Or yeah, we need to. So this is just to test this now. Yeah, I'm not explaining it fully here. I'll try to explain it better. So we have these hearts. You can see now it actually shows up correctly, but we have these hearts, which are each texture here is 8 by 8 pixels. And when we render, since we are zoomed in, when we render these, they are way off screen up to the top left. If we were all the way zoomed out, so if I go to my config, or if I go to the game rather and zoom out, so if I set the zoom to be to be 1 instead of the thing that we've set. So now we should be zoomed out all the way. Here you can see we are zoomed in this sort of rectangle here. And so that's why it's kind of tricky to draw the UI at the correct position with the thing zoomed in. I mean, I guess one thing, the reason why I want to make it so that it works with the camera is because the camera already zooms in with the correct amount. So this this UI will be scaled at the same amount. I guess the UI could be scaled using a different thing. That could be something, actually. Yeah, maybe that actually makes more sense to have the UI actually different from this other stuff. So I do have this UI scale because I did kind of think about this before, but then I just, yeah. So, okay, so if you go back to this, and we just have to figure something out. So, I guess we can keep this here. And let's go to so let's see, we have all our like UI drawing functions here, which we're using from the UI system. But I think one thing that we want to do is we want to have a function that is going to be begin or rather we go to the drawing function of the game. So here we draw all the stuff and we get the camera and we set some stuff for the offset and target and stuff. Yes. Okay, I think something is not quite right here. We should not set, so we do have like a thing, the camera should move around as well. But anyway, here we begin mode 2D. So in Raylib, that means that you're applying this camera to all transformations that's gonna happen when you draw stuff. So, and then when we end the mode, it's gonna end that thing. But it only happens to where this is gonna be. So after this is called. So if we call it down here, we end it down here, because this is where all of this is like things that should be drawn with the camera in mind then, and everything outside of this, like down here we have some thing here and we have this UI stuff here. This is UI stuff, so this is being drawn outside of this camera mode. So when we draw those things, they should be drawn without the camera transformation. However, now we have an issue, which is we need to scale up the UI, and we also need to make sure it's drawn sort of on the screen in the correct position and sizes and stuff. The picture one system that always draws relative to the camera. I mean, drawing UI is, I mean, in essence, shouldn't be that hard, because it should be harder to draw the entities themselves, because they should follow this camera, or the camera is kind of moving around and modifying where they should be drawn on the screen. But in the computer, always the 0, 0 is always at the top left. So if you're drawing UI, you want to draw it at the top left, then it's super easy, because you're simply drawing it, starting at the top at the 0, 0, and then you have some size you want to draw on or whatever. But my thought was that maybe I can utilize the camera to kind of zoom in on the UI as well to get the correct sort of size of the UI. And if you draw, and also if you wanna draw something at the bottom right or at the top right, you have to take the screen size into account. So let's see. Okay, so but I'm just gonna do it like this. We'll start here, and then we'll see how it looks. So now we should be zoomed in here. Okay, and we get some weird things going on, but that's because we haven't. Yeah, so now you can see, now these UI things are not drawn with the camera in mind anymore. So your world is a 0, 0 in top of the canvas and the local 0, 0 is in top left of the camera. Yeah, that's what I wanted, sort of. Well, yeah, you could say that's sort of what I wanted to have, basically, as you can interpret it as that. You can say drawing this world position or local position. Yeah, so sort of I'm calling it screen position. I don't know, maybe it's like the wrong terminology or something, but if an entity has 0, 0 position in the world position, that means or yeah, it has the position 0, 0. The position is 0, 0 for the entity. Okay. In sort of the physics system. Then it should be drawn, if your camera is also at position 0, 0, then that entity will be drawn at the center of the screen. And if you go negative, you go to the top left. If you go positive, you go to the bottom right. Sorry. Okay. So now we have, I want to go to the health thing, and now I think this should be sort of correct, except we don't want to divide by the zoom anymore, which means we could just use draw system. And we shouldn't do this. Okay, let's see this now. So you can say draw in this world position or local position. Well, here you see we're drawing the UI at the top left screen. So these are like the pixels that are actually the screen pixels, like the actual resolution of the window here. But we want to scale them up by 4. And we do have a UI scale. So now we can actually do this here. So if we grab config, we have a UI scale here. So now the health will be more further apart, but at the same sort of offset. And you can see if we just scale up the size of them now, we should get the correct stuff. We should probably scale the offset as well, because the offset is like in not scaled. The offset should also be scaled. So all positions and all sizes should be scaled. But my original idea was to take sort of the pixel size, divide that so it kind of scales it down, and then we zoom in instead. But yeah, the positions were not correct. I guess what I mean is, instead of doing the scale and transform per UI, you can do camera draw and the camera code with scale and transform. Yes, but that's sort of what I wanted to do, more like utilize the camera to like zoom in. But the issue there was we needed to draw the UI at the correct coordinates, because the camera can oh yeah, also the camera can move. Man, how did I not think about that? I mean, it's easily reversed. You can reverse the camera coordinates, but that seems unnecessary, because instead you want to draw outside of that camera, and then I guess just scale these up. So this would be UI scale. Negative. Yeah. So this means sort of at top left. And then we take 3 sizes. So 3 of these textures. And since each tile is 16 by 16, this is like 1.5 tile. Sort of. Oh, that's maybe a bit too much. Let's do 1. Camera draw code could keep track of all that, I guess. You use this by static coordinates relative to the camera. And then camera. Yeah. So you could do that, but it's I think when drawing UI, since the camera moves all the time, well, now it doesn't, because I'm in the process of changing this, but it's unnecessary to have the, like, because what you're doing is you're transforming to camera coordinates, and then you're transforming back to the original. So that whole operation is basically, you're taking an operation and then you're reverting the operation. So it's unnecessary to do that, because when you can just draw them on the screen from the start. I mean, I shouldn't really like fine-tune this, because we're not really gonna use these hearts in the long run anyway. I don't think that's gonna change. But anyway, I think in my mind, what was the issue is like more, okay, if I want something to be drawn at some anchor point, like bottom right or something, I have to use the screen coordinates, but then I have to scale it as well, so it becomes weird to find the actual correct position of stuff and stuff. But I don't think it should be that hard, actually. I think we'll just go through each thing and see where we end up here. So anyway, the hearts are fine. We need to fix the dialogue. And we're using this draw rectangle solid from... Oh wait. We're using... Wait. No, this draw bordered rectangle, which this is also gonna change, because I've made like graphics to... Which I should probably get to this stream. So I've made some graphics to actually draw a better looking sort of window for the dialogue and stuff. But this transform rect here. So this one should actually not divide. Let's start there. So now it does nothing, really. Yeah, I don't know if I explained the whole coordinate things in a good way, but yeah, okay. So now we get, I think now we get the size of these rectangles are correct, I believe. However, well, for one, the text isn't correct, but the size of the border is incorrect. It should be like scaled. This thickness should be scaled. So this rectangle is already sort of scaled as it comes in, which is sort of strange to me. Well, it's not really scaled, it's more like it's depends on the screen coordinates, so it's already. So what I want to do also is probably make this tile based. So it's gonna be, instead of just using the pixels as coordinates, I'm gonna use a grid where you have the tiles instead. So you specify the rectangle to be I don't know, 5 by 3, and it will draw a rectangle with borders. So if I show you in GIMP here, it's gonna be, we have these things here. Let's just grab all these. So it's gonna show, you know, let's see. Yeah, you know, something like this. Yeah, you know, something like this. Or by 2. Yeah, so it's like always locked into this sort of coordinates. So you can't have like if you're saying 5 by 2 now, or 4 by 2, it's like it's here. You're gonna have this. Come on. So this is a 4 by 2. It's 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 here. So this, so if you specify this size, you will get this sort of rectangle here. That's the idea. When you draw the, oops, the coordinates. So I'm not sure if I'll, yeah, I should probably get to that. So this stream. So that means we shouldn't really bother with the screen, although we should probably take the screen. We should probably have like how many tiles fits in the screen, because it's not really, I guess, guaranteed that you will get a even number or a like clean division of the screen in tiles. Let's say the screen coordinate, the screen coordinate right now, go to config, is 1920 by 1080, and 1920 over well, 16, which is the tile size. Okay, it's 120, so it does fit. What about 1080? Whoops. What's happening? Oh. Over 4. Okay. No, not 4. 16. Yeah. So there you can see, even this, it doesn't really divide correctly into this, so it won't really fit into the screen anyway. So, and I mean, the user could arbitrarily, I guess, change. I'm not sure how I want the resolution to be, if I want to have it like set to different things, but I think it's a good idea to have this sort of tile system, because that means you can't really screw it up that much. It's easier to sort of know how much size you're getting and how much you can use, where to place the text, and so on. So yeah, drawing a bordered rectangle. Let's make a separate function that is like textured. Okay, and this one will take this thing in a sort of, so we do want to draw this black thing, black rectangle. So, I mean, this would be really, we could do a loop. And we'll just do, no, bottom right, wait, no, this would be width, but it's F32. But we're gonna assume that these are gonna be unsigned integers. Actually, we could probably use, we could do this in oh, no, we can't. But you can do it if you're not trying to like cast it at the same time. You can like if you have a vector, like you could do rect dot size. So there now you get two, well, it doesn't show here, but you do get two floats out like this, which is nice, which is like the x and y component of this vector. This vector is like a size 2 vector, so yeah. But if you're trying to convert it at the same time to a unsigned integer, this doesn't work, but this works. Okay, now we can use it here, and we can use it here. So let me just double check here. This should be x and y. Okay, so we're just gonna do I guess we can skip the first one. I was thinking, like, instead of having a bunch of ifs, we could do it like this. So the first one is gonna be the top left of that thing. So top left texture. Let's actually grab this. So we have a texture container. texture container, which is this and this. So we need to grab this type here. Okay. And we need also the registry, so we can grab it out. So now we get the texture container, and we need to grab all of these textures out from that, and we can probably, this probably just needs to be done like one time actually, but I don't think it's gonna be that much of a bottleneck here. It's probably not. So we'll so then you can say, well, I want to get the tile set. Let me just check what it's called. So it's called tile set initial. Okay. So that's the texture. Actually, this is the tile set texture. And then the top left. Actually, this needs to be like source rectangles. So this is gonna be a source rectangle. Let me just double check what they want from this. Well, they want a rectangle. We're defining them by this AABB thing. And converting it later to Raylib. But here we are, so the top left, so now we have to count, oh, maybe did you see this GIMP thing that I was showing here? We have to count where these things are, so they're at the all the way at the bottom right, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I believe it's like 21 by 21 here. Let's just double check the image size. Yeah. So this is 21 by 21. Let's write that down. That's top right. Top right. So actually this is just a vector. Top right vector. Let's do that. And this one will be top left is, yeah, just the thing as you can see here. So we're defining these as vectors to define sort of where in the tile set these are. We got top right at the bottom right. We got top left one space to the left of that. So that's x -1 from 21, so 20. And then we have bottom right. Next one is bottom right, which is 19. And then next one is bottom left. 18. And then we have up, down, left, and right. Up, down, left, and right. Okay, so that's all our definitions for those positions in the tile set. And then to get the so actually this is now the source rectangle. So that's gonna be top left is gonna be oops, oh man, Okay, I don't have a good way of getting to that S there. Could do this maybe. Top right V, and then we wanna times that by the tile size. All right. So now we are at the top. That's the top left, and then the bottom right is the same thing here. Tile size, except we wanna also add one here. Oh yeah, and also that one. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, yeah. And then the tile, let's just define tile size here. There. Okay, so now we got all these source rectangles. So now we want to start with drawing the top left source rectangle. So texture, and the texture is tile set texture. The source is top left source. Origin, I believe we just put 0. Position. Okay, so the position is gonna be some offset. Yeah, that should be good. Rotation 0, scale is scale. Horizontal flip is false. I don't think we have scale though. Let's just set scale at 1. Oh wait, the scale should be the scale should be the UI scale. Yeah, that's right. UI scale. There we go. Okay, and we need an offset. So the offset is whatever the rectangle, like top left. Top left, and then we scale that by the tile size and the UI scale. And this should be a scalar. Okay, now I'm just gonna comment out all of these other ones so we don't get, or let's do this actually. Wait, where did that go? Let's forget about this loop for now. This is one of the issues with, sometimes I would say, sometimes I don't want to use all these things. Oh yeah, so we need that, but now all of these are, okay, there we go. So yeah, and this as well. Okay, so you need to like deal with all that unused stuff before you can even compile this, which sometimes is really nice, but sometimes it's just slows you down. Okay, but anyway, now we're drawing one at the top left where we should do that. So I think I want to test this for the dialogue, perhaps. Draw the dialogue rect. So we're getting this dialogue rect. And let's make a version of this which is like the textured one. And we don't need a screen for this. we're just gonna set some sort of arbitrary width for this. I mean, I guess we do want the screen. I guess. Well, we don't want the like sort of the pixels of the screen. We want to sort of see how much tiles can we fit into the screen, and that's sort of the maximum size of that tile grid thing. Okay, but anyway, let's just do some arbitrary thing here. So let's just say it's gonna be the size is gonna be I mean, let's just say like 6. No, this is the width. 6 in height, and the width is like, I don't know, 15 or something. Or let's do 16 just to get it even. Okay, so then we have the offset, and the offset I just put only Y here, so just like a little bit offset. And the offset, I guess we can just say it's like I don't know, 1 and 1. So let's just try this. Okay. And wait, that's this. No, this is the center. What would be the center then? Well, actually, let's just define it like this. So the top left is gonna be the offset. Let's just do this. Actually, it's way easier. Bottom right is actually no, offset plus size. Okay, and then this one. Okay, so now we have that, and let's say this is now the textured, and this is textured. Okay. Well, we don't need that. We don't need this. And you want the registering. And let's do scalar there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you bit by bit of what I'm trying to do. I guess I'm not sure if I explained it well here, but the thing is, the thought is here, if I go and talk to this guy now, we should see something, but we don't. Actually, we do see something in the middle of the screen, but it looks kind of weird. Okay, interesting. So that gives us something at least. So the offset should be scaled by the thing. Oh, it's not screen position though. Well, it should be here. Yeah, it is screen position. Okay. Yeah, and then the scale we're using. Okay. So the source rectangles don't need to be scaled because they are like the source image. We're just looking at the pixels there. When we draw the texture, we want to scale it by the UI scale, and the offset we're also scaling. I wonder why it's so small, the thing that we had there. Like if we look at this, we're going to talk to this guy. There's a thing coming up in the middle of the screen, but it's like super weird. It might be the source rectangle is wrong, perhaps. Which should be like offset a little bit, maybe. We started at 0, so this should be like 20 times 16 is 320. Should be this one. 320 by 336. 21 times 6. So that's correct. Times this, which is so that's the correct position. Then we have bottom right, which is just added one tile to that. So that should be fine. Well, we should cover at least the tile itself. And then, I mean, let's just say that the offset. Oh, wait, this shouldn't be. Wait, oh yeah. So the offset, maybe we shouldn't have the offset be screen coordinated the same way. Maybe. Since it's a grid system. It doesn't really make sense, I guess. I'm just gonna copy this for now and say this is like draw texture but in the UI. Well, actually we already have this here, so let's just use this one. Okay, so we're never doing the screen thing then. Let's actually do this grid, tile grid instead. And we don't need the draw system, I guess. So we're not gonna have rotation. And yeah, this is like the source thing. The origin, let's just assume that it's always going to be 16 by 16, so I don't think we even need origin here. Let's remove that. Wait. 0. So right, so we've got, let's see what we're doing here. So source rectangle, that should be fine. Source, yeah. Wait, how is this like annullable? Why is this? Oh, if we have a source. Alright, because otherwise we're drawing the whole thing. Okay, whatever.
And then we have the position. So that does not need to be centered. So we don't need to do this thing. Okay. So let's just do this. And I guess we have a scale, but that scale is like the UI scale, so we don't even have that as an input to this function. So we have the texture size. That's like always going to be like 16 by 16. Then we scale it by 4, or the UI scale. And then you have, this should be the same. This should be fine. And we don't, should we even have this horizontal flip? Whatever. And then yeah, that's the source rectangle destination. Yeah, so I think that should be everything we need for that. So let's go back to here and let's draw. Let's not do that. Let's draw. Actually, this would be in here. Draw this. And then we need texture, we need the source, we need position, and horizontal flip. So this one is gone, this is gone, this is gone, and false. Okay, well, let's do that to get rid of the error. And this one we need to dereference. Okay. Now let's see what we're dealing with. Oh yeah, now you can see, I think it's, if you look at the hearts up here, you can see something being drawn here. And it looks like there's something wrong with probably the size. I'm not sure, it looks really weird, but it looks like it's in the correct position now anyway on the screen. So why is the size weird though? I think this one is wrong. I think this needs to be like lowered by 1 or something. I'm not sure. Like 1 pixel. Should be like -1, I think. Because, yeah, because it starts at the next tile down. So I think that's more correct. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's no difference here. So what if we times this by like 2? Or we need the scalar 2. And see if that solves, or not solves it, but just see what effect this has. Because I'm not really sure why it shows up like that. Oh, now it shows like the entire, almost entire tile set here. Okay, interesting. Why did it increase so much? Oh, because we're taking sort of the coordinate. Okay, yeah. No, I think what I wanted to do was increasing this by 2. So that's weird. It's like showing... Is it wrapping the texture in that case? Wait, why is it showing so much now? Oh, okay, this is sort of the same thing. I wanted to just add, no, we'll add one here. That will make, that's what I was trying to do. I just wanted to add a little bit more so we can see more of where it is. Oh, you know what? Okay, I totally forgot about this, but there is like a padding thing we have in the actual texture. So the texture doesn't actually look like what I showed you here. The texture does not look like this. The texture actually looks like, let's see. Also, I need to actually run this again. I'm gonna run this script here and you'll see how the texture actually looks like. I totally forgot about this, so yeah. Let's hope it doesn't just do this selected part that I had. Yeah, it did. Okay. Let's rerun this here. Okay, so what we're doing is we're padding 2 pixels to each of these tiles to get rid of any rendering artifacts, because when you're taking from an image like this, now it looks like this, you know. So when you're taking from an image and the real tile is sort of like this, and then we pad 2 pixels around each one, so that when there's like a floating point error, like, or it takes a little bit of this part in and renders it on the screen. You don't want that part to be like different from that, because then you get some sort of artifact, like a black line, a small black line or something that shows like in the pixel here. So we want the same color to show. So that's why we do it like this. And that's also why we need to modify this algorithm a little bit. So let's go back to the code. So what we have is we have a tile set spacing, which is 2 pixels per, it's 2 pixels all around the thing. And then, well, let's say the spacing is 4 between the tiles, and then offset is 2 at the start. And let's make these into vectors. Okay. Now, we also, when we calculate these things, need to, the position will actually be times the spacing plus the offset. But this is in pixels though, so this is gonna happen down here. Yeah, I mean, I think times tile size, and then we add times, we should really do it like a function of this. But the thing, this is going to be the spacing, and then we just add the offset straight off like that. So let's have so source position here. This is going to be this part, and then the source size is going to be tile size, and yeah, no, that's, yeah, And then this one is gonna be, let's just start with this times that. Wait, what am I doing? This plus this, yeah. Okay. So I'll make this into a function later, but this is sort of the algorithm here. Then we need to take into account the spacing between and the offset. So let's see now, but it still looked a bit weird, but we'll see. Okay, now it looks a lot better. So you can see the top left there. Okay, so now let's do the same for the other ones, but I think I will make this into a function instead. So let's do like the tileset source rect, and then we have grid position. All right, and then we get this back. So basically we take this and we return you, and you will be grid position there. Okay, and that should be it there. And then we move this down there. All right. Oh yeah, and the tile size, let's define that out here. Okay, so we don't need you. This one is gonna be then get this top left B. Okay, so we'll test run this, and I will do the same for the other ones. There we go. So now I think what we'll do is we'll grab all this back in here, and we'll make a macro here where we say this will be SR, and then here we do get tileset source rect, and there. So now we can do that, and there we go. Okay, and they are all unused, so we need to use them. Right. So yeah, so we've drawn the top left. Now we can, I think we'll go like row by row. Well, we go the first row, we draw the up ones, and then we go we'll start there. So how many up ones are we gonna draw? We're gonna draw the length minus 2. So up tiles is gonna be the length of, I think rect is the thing that we are looking at. Oh yeah, we do have width and height here. Probably U size is a good thing to have though. But when we are like calculating stuff, it's nice to have it in F32. So we're gonna have the width minus 2. Okay. Hopefully that will work. And then we're gonna say let's also do a check here, because we've learned that in SIG, let's say we were naive as you were once upon a time, or as I was once in a time, and I say this to up tiles. Wait, this is a U size, so if we start at 0, then this will always be, yeah, this operation might actually fail. That's the issue here. I was thinking if you could, if we're starting at like 2, and if we start at 1 and we go to up tiles, let's say we do this. If up tiles was like 1 or 2, then, or if it's 1 and goes to 0, then this will be an infinite loop. So if you do this, I think this is a sort of an infinite loop. It will be a compiler error, I think, in this case. But if you actually run that code, it's like it's gonna be integer overflow error once it loops around, I think. But anyway, we don't need to do that. What we need to do is here, we actually need to make sure that the width is actually more than 2 here. So we could do a max 0 to make sure it's gonna be positive there. Okay, so now this is gonna be the number of up tiles that we're gonna draw. And so we're gonna draw something here. Tile set texture. No, this is gonna be up. The position, we're gonna keep track of that, and this is false. So what is the position? The position will be, we will start, let's make it a cursor. Yeah, we'll make a cursor that we will modify. So here, the cursor will be added. This will be, I guess, 1. It's just gonna be like 1, 0. So we don't even need this. Okay, so those are the initial like up tiles there. Okay, let's just there. So now we can actually run this and test. It's so nice to have the grid-based system. Okay, we can see that it doesn't really work. But it's nice to have this grid-based system to draw things, because it's really easy to just add 1 and then it's gonna draw at the next thing. It didn't, however, actually do that. So I'm perplexed as to why that is. Are there carving codes? Are you working on some what project are you working on, or are you just working right now? Let's see. So this, wait, where were we? Yeah, this one. All right. Off for 2 weeks. Nice. Are you gonna chill? So you're not working on anything like anything? Do you usually work at like things besides work, or just working when you code? Draw texture tag grid. Position. At the destination position. No, this is incorrect. The positions should also, I mean, the position should be scaled. Why are we not doing that? You should do side projects, but I've been flat out for the past 6 months, not doing anything next 2 weeks, chilling, spending. Okay, cool. I mean, sometimes you need to unwind. Yeah, I'm also like I have periods where I feel like, man, I really want to work on something, and then you work and work and work, and then you kind of burn out almost a little bit. And then you kind of go into a lull. Yeah, so this one is the scalar. Okay, but now the position should be wrong on the other one. Yeah. The top left of this thing, so that's from the dialogue. This rectangle, no, but it's just 1 1, so excuse me, maybe it's scaled like 2 times. Yeah, probably. Okay, so it's probably scaled here as well. Yeah, so the offset should actually not be scaled here, because we're using this to draw. Yeah. At least that's one of them. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Nice. Cool. So now we need just the top right, and we're done with that row. What kind of projects do you usually work on, though? It's like web dev stuff, or when you're doing it in free time? Okay. Now we need the top left. So we add one to the cursor as well, and or top right. I think I said top left, but I meant top right. We don't need to draw the black solid background. Well, actually, we could do that as well. I guess we could draw like from the tile set also. It's better to draw one time though. Okay, anyway. Now we want to reset the cursor by, well, we want to, let's do this. We add one Y, and then X is going to be offset, so we reset it back to that. Wait. We wanna add 1y, and then we want to set x to offset to the x of offset. Or we can say x of offset y of cursor plus 1. Okay, whatever. It's different semantics for exactly the same thing. Okay, so here we want to draw a left thing. And this is actually going to be in a loop. So now we want to do middle tiles, I guess we could call this. Center tiles, middle tiles. This is going to be the height minus 2. And then we do the same thing here. We do 0 to middle tiles. And we go down. And then we draw, first we draw a left. And at the end we draw a right. And we need to increase x by 1. And then we want to copy this part and draw, this is like the, I don't know what to call it, middle center tiles, just to be funny. And well, I guess we already have this. This is like inner x tiles, so we don't really need to make this again. So now here we want to draw, well actually we don't want to draw anything here. Well, we could draw like the black thing, the black tile. So I'm just gonna check where that is here. The black tile is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 1. Black 6. Alright, have a good one. Thanks for joining a little bit, chatting. Black, and then this will be let's see. Yeah, so now this is a thing there. Okay, so now we should be drawing all the top row and then all of the middle rows. Now we just need the bottom row as well. So let's just copy this. And draw bottom left. And we don't need this. And this is now down. And this is bottom right. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, now we got a bunch of these. We can delete all of that. Let's just double check the Y position here. So here we're resetting the Y position. We should not actually, wait. Yes, we are, because these are like rows. Okay, and then down here we should increase that once again. That's the last row. Okay. So actually we should probably just assert that the width and height we're gonna assert that the width is more or equal to 2 and the height is also more than equal to 2. Okay. Okay, let's see if we have ourselves a dialogue window now. There we go, except the black tiles are not shown, so maybe I put the wrong coordinates in. Let me double check here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 5 and 0. Oh, wait, it's 5 and 1. Man. Sloppy. Okay. There we go. Now we got this nice sort of dialogue window here. And let's... I guess we can extend it a little bit. How many tiles was that? 16. So let's do like 26. Let's add like 3 more. 29. And this will be, I guess, yeah. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this sort of responsive or anything. Let's lower it by 1. Or if I'm just gonna say, hey, it's gonna be this size, and if you have a too small of a screen, you can't actually see the whole dialogue. I'm not sure actually, but this looks nice on this setup here for now. So okay, let's fix the text as well. So we do have this draw text stuff, and I want to change this to be also text, like tile based. So we're just gonna do that. So the position is, well, for one, it's not gonna be scaled by the zoom. Do we have anything else that is scaled by the zoom? I don't think so. All right. So now the positions should be better. Yeah. But we need to change the position so that they are grid based. Also, we don't really have a way to center, I guess, anymore. Well, I guess you could sort of have a way to center. I would have to think a little bit about that. Maybe we'll have a separate function that does that. Because it feels weird if you wanna... I guess you could just provide the center and draw the tiles there. Alright, I need to BRB, couple of minutes here. Alright, I'm back. Let's see here. So let's, I mean, I guess we can keep this thing here, but then we actually don't really need to measure the text anymore. We can actually just assume that it's like tile sized. So we can say the size of the text is gonna be 1 y and length of this times the tile size times, wait, yeah, but then okay, let's start there. So we don't have a measure, we have a text size, so that's half the text size. So if we want to center it so that it lines up with the coordinate system, you have to use you probably have to use like half 0.5 sometimes. Okay, and then screen coordinates, yeah. The spacing is 0. The position is not scaled right now. So the position should actually be scaled by the tile size. And then here we are not using the screen, but we could scale it by the UI scale. I'm not sure if we want to do that though. No. Wait, or are we? The position should be scaled, right? Yeah, I think so. And size. So the size is font size. The font size is 4. It should actually be like 32 actually, or 16 maybe. 32 is like very, no, let's do 16, and we don't scale the font size by UI scale, or do we? We'll see. I think maybe we should. Yeah, actually, let's do that as well. So let's do UI scale. There we go. This one needs to be, okay, let's do from int and use size. And this needs to be a scalar. Okay, let's see what, I mean, it's gonna be way off screen because we're still not, we haven't, we're not doing grid coordinates here. So this is the dialog rec. The name is gonna show up at the top left of the thing. So this rectangle should actually be grid coordinates, but then we take like minus half of the size, and yeah, so the offset should actually be, let's do top left, and then we add 1. So let's see where that name ends up now. Should be at the top left of the dialog window. Okay, there we go. Except it's like huge, so the the scale is a bit wrong. The position is correct, I think, but the scale of the text is not really correct. So I mean, it feels weird that it's not scaled correctly here. We should scale it somewhere. That looks... too small. So maybe this should be like 8. Wait, 8 times 4 is 32. Where is it? Here. I think we do wanna scale it here, because otherwise it's like, yeah, the UI scale has to come in somewhere here. Okay, I think it should be half this size or something. I'm not sure. Or maybe this is correct. It's like one letter is the size of half a tile, I think. Maybe that's correct, actually. Yeah. All right. Let me double check this. What about the height? No, it looks like the height is also like half. It's like 4 of these letters fit in one tile, which is sort of, I think that's how the Nintendo 8-bit also has it, so let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a glass of water. All right. So yeah, so it seems correct now. Let's fix the other stuff. Choose option here. So we're drawing that. That's fine. We're getting this rectangle here. What are we doing with that? We're determining the option size and stuff. Alright, so we do have 2 different versions of this now. So let's do this version now. Now we get the grid sized version. And so here's the size of the options. So I'm thinking for everything here, we probably want to like rethink all of this stuff. Like we have the size and then we scale it by a quarter. So what we really want to do is probably just set this to a specific size instead. So we don't even need to look at this rectangle here. Yeah, we do have the Y. We do have like this options.length, but we don't need to scale it by the height. But we probably maybe wanna add like two. So that we get room for the for those things, for the tiles there. Okay, and then actually let's do init. So what's gonna be the width of this is gonna be sort of what's the maximum. So it's gonna be 2 plus what's the maximum amount of characters that you're gonna have in a option. So it's gonna be 2 plus max length. And what's the max length? We don't really have a max length, so we can say max length is 0. We're gonna go through all the options and we're gonna say max length is equal to the minimum, no, the maximum of max length and option label length. Okay, so then we're gonna find the maximum length from this list. We're gonna use that as the size of the options rectangle, and then we have the position. Now we need to change this to grid coordinates. So the position, we could use this still, the bottom right of the rectangle, and we could then this position is now, well, before it was the center, now it's the top left. So we should do negative, well, let's do plus option size 1 0. So it should be like move to the left by the option size width. Okay, and that's gonna be the rectangle. Okay, so let's start there. Now we can see sort of how big will that be once we fix this error here. We don't need the screen. And this one needs to be, I think, a use size. Okay, that's gonna be, we need to probably convert it now. Let's actually do from int here instead. And from use size, so we don't need to do all this crap. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we'll start there. Now we can see how large the window will be. Okay, we don't actually see anything. Interesting. Wait. No, because this needs to be textured, right? Now we need this. Oh yeah, it's not even using this argument, so let's remove that as well. Okay. Okay, now we probably can see how it looks. Okay, so we can see it ended up sort of in the middle, almost. Wait, because this is from center, so we're gonna do like this instead. Top left is the position, bottom right is gonna be position plus that. Wait. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. Now we get this window at the bottom right. Okay. So now, actually, I mean, yeah, it is correct. It looked kind of weird that these things are like side by side here. I don't know. Okay, so we got that. Now, what else? Yeah, so the text here we need to fix now. So this text is like grid-based positioning now. So let's see what's going on here. The position, we take the top left of the options rack. We should probably add 1 as well. So let's add 1, and then it adds the integer or the thing times option height, but we don't need to times it by the options height here. Okay, so now the text should, and then we have padding. What's the padding? Okay, we don't need the padding anymore. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's see now how the text looks. Okay, so it looks like it looks good. I don't know why the things. Oh, you know what? The options rectangle is so large because it thinks that, so the max length is actually half a grid cell in size. So we should probably half that. So let's do half. I don't think there's gonna be an issue with there being too small of a space, because or should we always like add or round it up maybe? Let's do like, but then we need to convert it into floating temporarily. We could just add 1, I guess. Wait, couldn't we just add a half? But then that, yeah, then we need to convert it. I wish there was like div ceiling. Yeah, I guess that doesn't exist. I don't understand what the difference is between these two. Like this says rounds toward negative infinities. I mean, it's floor division, so it always rounds down, right? But then this one is like truncated, so it rounds towards 0. Oh, is it different for negative numbers then? So if you're below negative, it's gonna round up. Okay. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll just do... No. Let's do... max length. Yeah. Right, and then we'll do like... Let's do... Options width. It's gonna be max length f over 2. But then we do ceiling. And then we convert it back to a U size. And then here we're gonna do options width. Okay. There we go. What? No. It's the same thing. So it's gonna be 2 plus that. So let's say the length is 1. Then it's 2 plus 1, right? So that means basically 2 letters are gonna fit in there, and same for 2, and then 3, 4 letters gonna get fit. So I'm not sure why this doesn't work really. Wait, yeah, because we're converting it here, and then we're... Why? So let's count this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's gonna be 6. Of course, there's no difference then, but 6 tiles in between. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 2. It feels like it's slightly off. I mean, it starts here. This is 1 tile here, and then 1 tile. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then it's like half. It feels like it's... Wait. Eight. Right, so this is 8. Yeah. Wait, let me check in GIMP how these tiles look. So the up tile is sort of this thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this 6, this last one is like half into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It starts here, and then it ends up like in half this thing here. It doesn't make sense. Here it's like the R is in the middle of this one. Are those like Is it not monospaced? It should be monospaced, this one. This tile set. Or font. Yeah. It starts like in the middle here. 1, 2. It's like it's slightly too big, actually, that font size. Which doesn't make sense because we've set it to be 8 times 4 is 32. Yeah, this seems correct because it's like half the thing. Is it the spacing? Does Raylib add spacing even though we set it to 0? But even, I don't think we should have less than that. Yeah, you can't even do that. Wait, no, there is a difference. What? Okay, let's do like negative. Okay, now it looks how I thought it would look. However, at the top here it looks really weird now. Well, this makes sense now, but this part does not make sense. The letters are going into each other here, and it doesn't make sense that you had to put negative. It's Raylib sets adds 1 to the spacing. That feels very strange. If that's the case. Let me try something here. I'm gonna change my font to this. And I'm gonna type. Okay. Gonna open GIMP. And I will select this, transform it. Over 4, 24%. Come on. Okay. I'm gonna look at the font thing. Hmm. Now, I mean, it looks correct when I look at the font source, and we don't. This feels very bad. We should not do this. The spacing is 0. I don't think Raylib adds any spacing. That would be weird. But somehow it feels like it's like for each letter it goes further and further to the right here for some reason. Maybe it has something to do with the scaling. Because if I take negative whatever to the scale, like -4 to each spacing, it looks correct now in the width. Like this doesn't even line up with the tiles. Are the pixels the same size, or are they like slightly off? Also, I think the rendering is a little bit weird as well. Like the scaling. Line spacing. Vertical line spacing. Okay, well, we don't have that really. Okay, so you could do this yourself, sort of drawing your own like texture. So you could use this to make your own texture and then pad it maybe to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, I was looking for something that changed the way it scales the text here. But this one, this should be like, you know, the original like 8 by 8, right? I think that's the one that I actually... Yeah. And then it's like scaled up. Here. Okay, you know what? I'll not look into this further right now. I feel like this is taking up way too much time. I'll have it like this. I'll write this down in the to-do list, like the bugs or whatever. And this would be text, UI text rendering, frame spacing, making the text wider. Should be. All right. Okay. But okay, let's move on from that. Let's fix the highlighting there so we can actually see which one we've highlighted. And here we have some highlighting things. So we have highlighting size and all of this stuff times, so we take the width of the options and then we add 1. So let's make this like grid size. Let's make this, oh wait, this is, let's do UI draw rectangle grid. Right. So let's give a rectangle and the color. All right. And then transformed rectangle is going to be a rectangle. This is going to be top left. Oops, what am I doing? Top left times the scale times the tile size, and the one on right is also the same thing. Okay, and then we do, oh yeah, we need this is past the registry or the draw system maybe. There. All right. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Okay, so this is now in grid coordinates. Now the highlight position is gonna be this plus the size half. So that's not correct anymore. And then this one is gonna be top left and bottom right is this plus the size. Should really make a convenience function for that pattern, but anyway, now we can draw this. We need the draw system and the rectangle, and the color is set there. There we go. Now let's, oops, we have an error here. Oh, this needs to be scalar. Alright. Let's look at this guy. No, that does not work. Okay, let's look at this again. So we know that option size is already working. So that's like the size of that. The position is the same as this option position, which is the same as the text position, so that should be correct. So I'm not sure why that doesn't work. And the size should definitely be like at least something, right? Take the width, we add 1y. The width is set to be 2 plus, so it's, I mean, at least 2 plus. And the position is the same as the draw text stuff. So okay, is it showing up anywhere else? I'm not seeing anything. No. Okay. Let's just try and draw something somewhere. So let's just draw. Oh, we can do it here. Draw rectangle grid. And we'll just draw at let's do 1 is the center, or let's do 2 is the center, and then the size is 2 by 2. So a white square, 2 by 2 square. Okay, so we do have a 2 by 2 square
Although it looks a little bit offset, like half a tile somewhere. Also, it should be drawn at the top left of the screen. Right, so I think the issue is that this transforms this thing. Okay, let's just do this. Let's copy this instead. Whoops. And we will not do this. And this will be top left. And then we do raylib instead. No. Don't we have to rect or from rect or... Oh, we do a rect. Yeah, so this is position and then size. This returns a rectangle. So this is the rectangle. Or this is the raylib rectangle. And then this, wait, no, draw rect V. Let's just do this maybe. Yeah, so position transformed rect size. There we go. Actually, let's just do this, get rid of that. And now we don't really need to define this rectangle like this, so let's just do this instead. Size is gonna be, I mean, isn't that the same thing here? Size times this. Okay. No, position and size. And color. And we don't need you. And we don't need you. And we don't need you. Okay, cool. Right. Let's test this now. Oh, put some errors. What's this? 3 arguments. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That looks better. But yeah, the highlighting is a little bit off, so let's do... Yeah, let's remove this white square. And... should we just break the rules and offset this by half a tile? Either that or offset the text by half. Yeah, let's just break the rules here. And by rules, I mean the tile grid sort of thing. that everything conforms to the tile grid. But this one should be, so let's actually add, or we subtract a half, and that should be good. I think the size needs to be taken down a little bit as well. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it should be by quarter. Yeah. And then the width needs to be lowered by like 1. So let's do plus this. Okay. I mean, yeah, the text is still like outside a little bit. It bothers me, but maybe we could just add 1, I guess, to this whole thing, to this whole size. We just add 1 to the width. But then the highlighting should still be at the edge there. So now we can lower this by, I don't know, half. No, not the position. The size. Okay, there we go. It's nicely centered there now. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I needed a cursor as well for this one. Okay, so yeah, so nice. That text is done. Let's do the actual dialogue text now. So we should probably just, yeah, this should be top left is the position. Is that it? Centered? No, let's not center that. And then we need to fix the responses as well. Let's see how this looks. Nothing. Okay. Oh yeah. This needs to be the other version there. There we go. Okay, so we do get like the top left, but we need to offset it a little bit. Let's offset it by 1 and then 3, I think. 1, yeah. Now we're getting somewhere here. There we go. Now we get some text there. Cool. It's almost feels like the pixels are larger in the text. They're like slightly, a tiny step larger.
Also, the I don't know if this is like an optical solution or optical illusion or something, but it feels like here this goes like up and down here. That's not correct. That's really strange to me. What? Okay. But these pixels seems to be sort of the same size at least. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't have like line breaks. Should probably fix that. But now we know like sort of the size of the window. It should have like maybe we should just add line breaks in the text. I don't know. Or we should probably have it automated. So you don't have to like, let's say we update so that you can write more text, then it's gonna be weird if you have to update all the text. But then you still have to like look at all the text anyway to see if it's correct. Okay, well, anyway, that's not really an issue right now. We still have, yeah, we do have these artifacts. I'm not sure if that's because the source texture is read at a different. Let's actually do this here. Let's go, because I just realized that when we're reading in the texture or the font, here we are saying 32, and I believe that's incorrect. I think it's closer to 8 actually. So let's actually read it in at 8 instead, and we'll see if that fixes stuff for us. Okay, I mean, it's something. We don't get the artifacts anymore, but we do get some weird smoothing going on here, some filtering. So cool, we got rid of the artifacts. Do I have broken pixels, or is that just a remnant of something else? I don't think I have broken pixels. No. Okay. So so nice, that is now done. Let's go to, what was I doing here? Oh yeah, now the text, we need to fix the sort of filtering on that. And I thought that point was gonna be sort of nearest. I don't see that option here. Let me check here. Raylib, texture filter. Yeah, turn off. Nearest. So what is that? Okay, let me go into Raylib. Search for this thing here. That is something else. Okay, interesting. Set texture filter. So why would this be different here? This is nowhere near the other thing. Also, it's like 0, 1, 2. Yeah, because it's not a flag. Okay. What? That's weird. Maybe it's like different versions, actually. Let me check this. So which version am I using? Let's try this one. It's the same. Where is that? So it's around here. Wait, let me check. Let me search set texture filter instead. Point. Okay, so there's a point. So it sets the things. If we have more than one MIP maps, it says min filter MIP nearest, blah blah blah, min filter nearest, mag filter nearest. So that sets it to nearest. So it should set it to nearest. Maybe it's because 8 is not the thing. Maybe it's 16. Okay, let's try that. I don't know. Maybe 16 is correct. Okay. That looks a little bit better. It still looks a bit weird. I wonder if there's a way to actually check this. Let me see if I can. I'll go into here and there. Maybe it's 24. Okay, let's try 24, I guess. Or maybe 12 is, I don't know. Maybe the issue was that it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. It still looks a bit smothery. 36, 48, 60, 72. Is any of these divisible by 8? 72. Okay, let's try reading it by 72. I have no idea if this will actually end up working, but my thought is that maybe we can load it in at a certain multiple of 8 so that it's not gonna be. Okay, this actually looks way better. However, now we're getting artifacts. I mean, it's still, I can still see some weird smoothing going on. But I think this is more optimal, I guess. And it seems to maybe have fixed the issue with the lining up against... No, wait, or have it? Has it? No, I don't think so. Or wait, has it actually? Yeah, maybe it actually fixed the issue with lining up against the tiles. Okay. I'm gonna be happy with that. However, I'm not happy because we still see artifacts now. Maybe I can load in a different font. I mean, I could just load in a picture of it, I think. Yeah, here's a picture. It's a PNG. So I can just count. Okay, let me open that up in GIMP. I have to copy this. Okay, here you can see. Well, it's gone. Wait. Where's the pixels? Huh. Weird. So GIMP can actually open this correctly. Let's try, I guess, Paint. Because Windows seems to be able to open it. That's weird. Okay, so Paint Paint can actually open this. Okay, I'm not gonna show. I'm just gonna sort of try and count the pixels. So we've got 3 rows. The 3 rows are 24. So that's 8. So they are 8 by 8. Okay. That's very strange to me. Maybe they're not 8 by 8 in the TTF though. Can we actually change this to PNG? Can we load this? Wait, but this PNG, it doesn't seem to have every
letter. No, it's missing a bunch of stuff. So actually this font is missing a bunch of letters that I would like to show as well. So I might end up having to... Yeah, now it just goes to the default. Okay. I will have to live with this for now, but I think I'm gonna have to change the font a little bit, so I will have to like... Maybe I'll just make my own font, I don't know. This will be probably good for now. Yeah. So one thing that I want to look at is why we get some wobbling while rendering these things. I'm not only seeing this. It's like there's some weird wobbling going on with the tiles when they're rendered side by side. I don't think, yeah, you don't see that in the normal game. Also, I want to fix the camera as well when we like move around and stuff. Let's do that actually. Let's go to the camera. So the camera is updated here, but then when we actually draw stuff, we set this thing here. So I think this is what we update. So we should not set the target here, only the offset. Okay, let's see. It might be we have to mirror it or have a negative. Okay, now we don't see anything. Great. Okay, let's try and change the zoom to zoom out so we can see everything. Hopefully we see something at least. Okay. And you can see it, I'm moving to the left. So I think there's a couple of issues going on. I think the target, this needs to be now reversed. Pretty sure. Okay, that's one thing. Maybe that fixes it, I'm not sure. Okay, so it does fix like left to right, but it's not fixing sort of the offset here. Okay. Let me just go to Relive and see if they've written anything on this thing. Camera. So okay. Let's see, the camera, so the target is going to be sort of where the center should be, I think, and offset is sort of, yeah, they're dividing screen width, so that's the same as me. I'm taking, when we're drawing here, I'm taking the offset to be screen size half. And they are doing the exact same thing here. And then they're just, yeah, adding the player. Oops. Just move my controller there. Let's see, player X, player Y. They add 20. Why is that? I'm just checking how it works here. Yeah. So wait. Draw line, camera, target X. What? Yeah, so they're drawing things in world coordinates. They're using world coordinates, and the camera will sort of transform that while it's being drawn, I guess. But this was weird. Draw a line, camera target. I mean, okay. So that's sort of the center of the camera, I think. Okay. So they're using target to get the center of the camera. So the target should be at like the world coordinates. I'm not sure why they add 20 though here. I mean, okay, it might be so to get to the center of the player. Okay. Hello, Oliver B. Man. It's going good. I've done a bunch of dialogue stuff, dialogue or UI window stuff. I'm trying to figure out a thing with the camera. Let me see. So, how are you doing? Yeah, I don't understand why everything is so far down. Alright, nice. Here you can see the dialogue sort of window that we have. Oh yeah. So I do wanna check. Nice design, thanks. It's a lot better than what it was before. Now at least you have some graphical components to it. And the font I actually grabbed from online, but I think I'm gonna probably make something, my own font probably. But this was sort of like a 8-bit font that I found. But it does have some weird like artifacts and stuff you can see here. That's probably because it fetches like that letter that is like above here bleeds into this a little bit. So But I can fix that if I make my own tileset though. But and also you can see here there's like a little wobbly thing going on here. I'm not sure why this happens, so I'm gonna have to look into that. It's not just me, like I'm seeing a pixel up and down, going up and down here. Yeah. And you can see this sort of thing happening to the tiles as well, but that I solved that by using padded tiles. So each tile has like 2 pixels around it padded with the same color, so it doesn't happen there. But for the font, there's still this issue here. Okay, let's restore this. Whoops. Now it's a repeating tile on the dialog border. Yeah, I don't know why the wobbling happens. It's kind of strange. It's like it has a little bit of rotation almost. Maybe I did put... No. Let's see. Let me also fix the camera for now. The camera is not working at the moment. Because this doesn't work, but let me put that there for now. Because I want to fix the wobbly stuff. Yeah, it seems like it has maybe like 1 degree of rotation or something like that. But that's strange because I've never put anything in there, but let's see if that's the issue. So where are we doing that? So here we are doing the whole... We have one function to draw this whole sort of bordered rectangle. And we get a bunch of source rectangles here for the tileset texture for all the different tiles, and then we use this function for all the tiles. So this function should be the culprit in that case. Oh, there's a 1 there, and that's the rotation. So I think I thought that that was the scale actually. Okay, yeah. There we go. There we go. Now it looks better. Okay, cool. Alright, so now I'm just gonna fix the camera, and then I think my time is running out, so yeah, this is a bit annoying because it might mean that I have to like redo a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's just a camera target, that's the issue, right? Camera target set to be the player position, so I don't understand how it can be that wrong, but yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to do some progress. I'm taking it slow though. I'm not rushing things, so because I want it to be a good game, I want it to be fun, and I want to take my time figuring things out, and I don't want to burn out like I usually do with larger projects. Okay. So why is the camera target, why is that so bad? Oh, wait. Maybe we don't actually need the offset because we're already... Oh, okay. So I think I've done a little weird thing here. Basically, I have this draw system. Alright, see ya. Thanks. And the draw system always... So, when I draw something at coordinate 0, 0, I want it to be at the center of the screen. And the draw system actually translates everything by the screen size, or half the screen size. But when you use a Raylib camera, you can do that as well there, using the offset. So we're actually doing that here, but we don't need to do that, I guess, because we're already doing that in our draw system. So let's actually do this, because I think that we're doing that twice now. Okay, there we go. Cool. So now let's get the zoom back in. So I guess, I mean, instead of doing this whole screen thing, that I'm doing like 2 screen positions on everything, I could just set the camera offset here, and that would fix everything. We don't even need to have this screen thing. So I think I'm gonna do that as well. I think I'm gonna do that off stream though, but we'll do this here. Uncomment when we've removed screen position be everywhere. That's probably gonna be pretty easy to fix actually. Okay. So yeah, so let's restore the zoom. Zoom. Oh. Okay, so it wasn't exactly perfect though. It's like offset by a little bit. Let's zoom out again and see what's going on, maybe. I mean, now it looks like the player is in the center, right? Yes, so why? Okay, maybe we should rip out the zoom thing right now, real quick. All the screen positions stuff. Yeah, let's do that. So I need to switch to my other project here, the game engine thing. Let's go to draw. Let's go to screen. Actually, let's search for screen position V, and we'll basically remove this. We don't do this. Okay. we should do like a substitution. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna start the example here and see what's going on. If this... Okay, so here you can see everything is like offset up half a screen to the top left. So what we do to fix that is we go to this main thing. We'll make a camera, because I don't think we have one. Yeah. We'll make a camera. Actually, we could probably do this here. Yeah, let's just make camera here. This is a 2D camera. We've got zoom is 1, rotation 0. So target is the center of the screen, so that's gonna be like 0, 0, and then the offset. So the offset's actually gonna be the screen size. So we have the screen here. So this is gonna be screen size half X component of that, and then Y is gonna be, I mean, I think we can just do 2 really screen half, or half, size half. There. And then in draw, we will do begin mode 2D, self.camera, and we defer end mode 2D. Also, this can be up here. Okay. So now, in theory, we should see things in the middle instead of wait. Oh, is this not wait. Comp time. Is this not comp time? What it is? So why is it var? Guess we wanna move it in here. No. Can't we set it to const? Ah, usually it says like, oh, it doesn't need to be var, but now it didn't actually do that, so that's interesting. Okay. Oh, but now the FPS is drawn in the center as well. But now you can see everything is drawn like at the correct position. So the draw FPS. Oh yeah. So let's do end here, and then we can draw, and then you can like draw FPS outside of the camera mode. So now you can see FPS at the top left, and everything is in the correct position. So cool. So I think that's it actually. If we go to screen, and we go screen position, we're gonna search for this. It's only in here, so I think we'll just remove this because we can use the Rayleigh camera anyway. So we'll do that. Do we get any compiler errors? No. Okay, cool. So let's push this up. So let's do this. Low screen positions in favor of camera. Okay, and now we go back here and we fetch that. Oops. All right. So now we can go back and we can look for this thing and we will uncomment that. Oh, we need the screen. Okay. And let's see if this is magically working now. Oh. Now we get some errors here. Oh. We got screen positions here that we can get rid of. Yeah, this one is not actually, I've not fixed the notifications. So I'll just fix those errors for now. Okay. Right. Let's do the zoom again. Okay, now we should see if it works correctly. There we go. Okay, that works a lot better. Yeah, the menu still doesn't work here, but oh yeah, so I can move the camera as well. Okay. So great. The camera is fixed. That is fixed. So yeah, we still need to fix the last like UI stuff, like the menu and the notifications. And yeah, but I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm just gonna do. So I think this is done. However, we do have. Yeah, and this should actually be done now. Well, graphics is not done, I guess, totally. So let's see where. So menus, we need to migrate to new, I guess, to grid system. Also have this for dialogues. That should be done. Migrate to grid system. There's one more thing. Multi-line text we need to fix. What else do we have? I think yeah, notifications we should also have. Migrate to grid system. And the quest, wait, yeah, okay. So we have a couple of things left there with the UI, but then once that's done, I believe we have like a full cycle of getting, like, opening, like talking to an NPC, getting a quest, completing a quest, getting notifications, turning in the quest, also the quest, opening the quest log and seeing all the quest stuff. So I think that will be sort of my focus now. But yeah, we got a lot of things done, and that's gonna be it for this session. So thanks for everyone tuning in, and yeah, see you later.